It occurred to me why movies have what I call bullshit arguments, and I'll explain that in a minute. The camera wiggling is my cat. He likes to lean against my tripod and then bathe and scratch, and it causes the whole thing to wiggle because it's kind of precarious. It's on the end of a snake, right? Anyway, um, so just TLDR, arguments in movies are completely misleading. They're not representative of how people actually argue because um, they don't want people to learn that debate doesn't exist. It took me decades to notice, and it really shouldn't have. It's kind of a symptom of debate not being a thing. And I'll link to my post about what I mean by that. But regardless of that purpose, it just occurred to me while I was cooking that specifically I was rewatching The Big Short, great movie, Brad Pitt, and Christian Bale's character is arguing with his investors, and it's completely one of those fake TV arguments. And the reason it's fake is because neither side is actually trying to make their point. They're saying stuff and it sounds like an argument, tonally it's obviously an argument, and they have objections with each other and that kind of thing. But what he should have said was, well, let's go over the data. I think this because I've seen inside these loans and I know what their real condition is. You're assuming you know, and so we have, conflict, dissonance because of that. And I can resolve it by sharing this. But he doesn't make that attempt at all. And of course, that character, it's a little fuzzy because they're kind of painting him as this cliche autistic type. And he even talks about himself. It's like he's explaining, he's arguing to the audience. He's not arguing to the guy in front of him. It's not a faithful recreation of how two agents in these positions would act. Agents in the Nash sense, right? Just bodies, perspectives with information sets and conflict. How would they interact under these conditions? It's totally not accurate. And I've noticed later in life that is the number one way that fiction lies, is psychology. It lies about how people talk, how people think, and it's because the main way you manipulate people through mass media is convincing them what other people think and say. And I hadn't had that missing piece, that why they do it is to hide the myth of debate, and how they do it is to not have the character make an argument that they naturally would in real life. Because if a character made the kind of argument that people actually make in real life, most people believe that debate works. They have a position because of a fact or logic, and they share it, and they expect people to honor that fact and logic, incorporate it into their worldview, and shift accordingly. That is not how people operate. And while, yes, on the sender end, they're equally debate immune, rationalization and intellect lets you make an argument that is at least notionally correct. And that's you can be right for the wrong reason. It's like the tu quoque fallacy. You can be a hypocrite and still be making a point. That's a different way of being right for the wrong reasons. And you can make a completely valid argument even if you're wrong about other things, and people aren't going to listen. And you will be equally immune to when people make an argument from fact and logic against something, And the ways that people get around that and why it evolved are fun, I guess, to think about, and complicated. Basically, I feel like it boils down to an evolutionary way to expand mental diversity, so that one ideology, one meme doesn't run through the entire connected setup of cognitions. It's like the sticker, support mutation. The survival of any species over time requires reserves of mutants capable of resisting or exploiting opportunity. It's cute. It's a funny sticker. I love it, but it's also totally true. That really is how it works. You have to have weirdos. You have to have people that are going to be immune to the prevailing thing, good or bad. Because if we knew what good and bad was in advance, we wouldn't need all this evolutionary hedging. It's like evolution is about dealing with uncertainty and whether or not things will work out, and we don't know if things will work out. It's like Arthur C. Clarke said, intelligence has yet to show survival value. We're pretty young, and it's looking like our intelligence might kill us. The great filters would seem to indicate that something is purifying the universe of intelligence. Whatever that is. So maybe being intelligent isn't so good. Intelligence is obviously not needed for ants and roaches. They do just fine. Our cells do just fine. So yeah, there's that. And I just wanted to share that little bit of stuff. It'll be neat when the future AI can do transcription and tagging on these videos, because I always suck at titles, and I go off topic. I branch around and bounce around inside a web of information, and how relevant it is questionable. But yeah, I just wanted to share the argument thing, because it really annoys me because it's how you'll have a tension with somebody, and you'll say stuff, and then you'll go over the conversation in your head later. I do that to fictional characters too. It's like, that sucks, because I watched Seinfeld, and I never could enjoy that show because it's just a bunch of characters embarrassing themselves, and I cringe with them and for them. And I don't find it pleasurable. It's like a weird kind of sadism. It's like, okay, you like watching people be humiliated. Okay. I don't think that's funny. The jokes that require a butt don't make me laugh. And when they do, I feel bad about it. I'm like, that's really animalistic and shitty. I shouldn't be laughing at that. I am. It's funny, but because I'm human, I evolved. I'm the same face-chewing ape as all the rest of the primates on this planet, but I'd rather not be, right? I don't know if you can hear that. I've got a filter on, but my air conditioner is going nuts. It's all shrieking. One of the bearings is going. I just hope it makes it to fall. We're about there, September. We're getting there. So yeah, that's all I'd share. Thanks for listening.